Hello, my name is Clyde Hoke. In front of me you see a scale model of an M48A3 tank, or Patton as it was called by our Army cousins. In 1968 and 1969 I was a tank commander in this type of a vehicle in Vietnam. In 1968 and 1969 were the most intense fighting years of the whole Vietnam War also. I wrote a book about my experiences called Tracks, Memoirs of a Vietnam Veteran. In my book, I talk about why I went in the Marine Corps rather than my boyhood dream of going in the Army. I talk about Marine Corps boot camp in 1965. I talk about Mediterranean cruises and why we have Mediterranean cruises. There's some very humorous stories in this section of the book. Then I talk about Vietnam. My first full day in Vietnam, my second day in Vietnam, I was sent to an outpost on the south side of Da Nang. There, we had 12 grunts, 12 infantry, and a tank and crew. We later received intelligence reports that a whole battalion of North Vietnamese were coming our way. It's an odd feeling when you think you're going to die in a few hours. I also talk about striking a large landmine with the tank I was on. It made a hole in the ground 3 foot deep and 5 foot round and blew off 3 of the road wheels in the tank. I was knocked unconscious, and it took me a long time to understand what actually happened. I talk about living in a sandbag underground city for months on end. I also talk about what it was like to be abandoned in the middle of a battlefield. My tank, my crew, and myself were the only ones left. I saw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Vietnamese stand up and come towards us. It must have been like what Custer felt like. I also talk about the worst part of Vietnam was coming home. Coming home from Vietnam was a horrible time in my life. Everyone resented us. People looked down on us. People spit at us. People hated us. Everybody hated us. It's a time I would like to forget in my life. I also talk about how I and many Vietnam veterans feel we could have won that war anytime we wanted to. Find out all these in my book, Tracks, Memoirs of a Vietnam Veteran. Thank you very much.